Hi guys and girls, how's things? So back today, and it's another first impressions video. This one is on the new Battlefield Hardline beta. As you can see here in the background, I've got some actual gameplay going on, so I hope you guys enjoy that. So I sent an email after hearing that you could actually have a go at this game on PS4. I sent an email to them and got my code on Thursday, and I've been checking out this game and playing it ever since, just to see what it's all about and see if I enjoyed it. So the Battlefield Hardline beta only includes the multiplayer element to the game. There is no single player in here. There is going to be a single player campaign when the game comes out in October, but it's not included in the beta, just for people to have a go at the multiplayer. So the multiplayer is your typical kind of Battlefield style multiplayer game. It's 16 versus 16 people. There are two main modes, Heist and Blood Run. Is it Blood Run? Blood Money. With Heist, it's typical kind of, you have to break into, if you're the criminal, you have to break into two armored trucks, steal the loot and take them to a rendezvous point. If you're a cop, then you have to intercept those packets and stop the criminals stealing that money. Blood Money is a little bit different. It's basically you have a pile of cash that you have to try to collect and take it to your vault, and you can also steal from the enemy vault too. So those are the basic two multiplayer maps. It feels very, very similar to previous Battlefield games. You have four main classes that you can play as: the operator, enforcer, professional and mechanic. All of them are obviously a little bit different. You know, some of them use sniper rifles, shotguns, assault rifles, SMGs. There's a wide variety of weapons here that you can unlock, and you can level up and customize. There's a lot of different gadgets. So you have your zip lines, your grappling hooks, you have your med packs, ammo packs, things like that. All kinds of things that we expect to see in a Battlefield multiplayer game. So everything's really here. It feels very, very similar. There is only one major kind of map that you can play on, but it is a pretty huge map. But you can stay in the ground level, you can go up to the top of a building and snipe. So it's very, very vertical, and of course the whole dynamic maps as well exist, and even in the actual beta there's a crane that at some point can actually be destroyed and collapses, and again that changes the terrain and the levels. So everything really that was in kind of Battlefield 4 also is in Battlefield Hardline as well, so it is very similar. They don't seem to really introduce anything new or different into Battlefield Hardline. It just seems like the same old Battlefield agenda. It's fun. I will admit it was fun to play cops versus criminals. It's a fun premise, and I did enjoy playing it, but I have to admit it is very, very difficult to go into the game. I found it not in the very accessible multiplayer beta. It is difficult if you're kind of new to the game and you're trying to settle in. I will say that when you get your first weapons, they're just weak sauce. The recoil on one of the assault rifles was just ridiculous. You couldn't get any shots. Didn't matter how much I was trying to shoot this other person, could not get them. Same again, the melee button, it's that right kind of thumbstick that you have to press down to melee. For me personally, that's kind of my pet peeve when it comes to multiplayer games, because sometimes, you know, the adrenaline's going and you're in a moment and it's you and it's another guy and you're trying to shoot him and you accidentally press down the thumb button in your excitement. You end up meleeing the guy instead of shooting him, and then you just die and your blood splattered all over the ground and it just sucks. So for me, attaching the melee button to the right thumbstick is my personal pet peeve. I hate it when it comes to multiplayer games, so I hope in the main game that is changeable, that you can actually you know, you can actually change the mechanics on your gamepad. I hope so, because I hate that, and if that's in the main game I will not be playing it because it just winds me up so much. Another issue that I came across in this beta is it didn't run as smoothly as it could have done. I know, of course, it's, you know, it's a beta and the main game's not coming out in October, so this is probably in kind of pre-alpha mode. So I get that completely, but there were a lot of kind of online glitches through the game. One of my friends was playing it, and you know, a couple of times he spawned and got stuck in the location where he was and he couldn't move. So yeah, that happened regularly over one night, so it does, kind of hinder your enjoyment of the overall experience. Another thing that I didn't really like in the beta, and it might just be because it's not been included in here because it is a pre-alpha, and that could be the reason why, but there was no ability to customize your character outside of the main kind of multiplayer spawn screen. You could only customize your character in the middle of a game, so that was really difficult because you had to choose between I'm going to customize my character or I'm going to jump in and play straight away. I would have liked to have been able to customize my character in the main menu screen so that I could then take him into the actual main multiplayer campaign and have somebody decked out for each kind of situation. But one of the best things about this game, I will have to admit, is the vehicles. Playing with each of the different vehicles is a lot of fun. They're all very, very different. So you have your cars, have an armored vehicles as well with kind of a turret on the top. You have motorbikes in this, and you also have helicopters as well. All of that is in first person, so that really does change the whole mechanic of it. When you're driving this vehicle, it is quite tricky to steer, I have to admit, especially when you're on a motorbike, because you're really leaning down very close to the ground. So sometimes when you turn corners, it feels very, very strange at first, but it is easy to adapt to it, and they are definitely maneuverable, and they are quite fun because it's in the first person dynamic as well. It feels very, very fast, very quick, very action packed, very exciting, so that's quite enjoyable. For me, my favorite was the helicopter. Not driving the helicopter, because the first time I got into a helicopter I crashed it horribly and blew up in a fiery mess. Probably killed about like 2 guys that were in there with me. I'm sure I pissed them off by doing that. So I don't like driving a helicopter. Can't drive it for toffee, but I will admit that it is fun to sit in the helicopter with that machine gun as somebody's flying it around and just mow down people on the ground level or on the roof. So yeah, for me the vehicles was the most fun part of this game. I spent most of my time trying to get into the vehicles or joining people that were in vehicles, and that's where I had most of my fun. So yeah, it was good. But for me, it just felt very similar to other Battlefield games. For me, this game, yes, while there are 2 modes and there is one big giant map in here and there's a lot of guns and things and there's a lot of content for you to actually access, for me this game, it doesn't feel like its own major game. It really feels like it's DLC. It feels like it's just DLC that could have just been attached onto Battlefield 4 as a downloadable pack. I really don't see how they're going to make this into a fully fledged game that's worth $60, especially when it comes to the multiplayer. The 2 main kind of modes, heist and blood money, I don't see what other modes they could use to incorporate it into that theme of cops and criminals and where they're going to go. So yeah, I'm interested to see where they will go and whether there'll be enough content in there to make it worth $60. But I have to admit that I really lost interest in it very quickly. I think I played it over one night, game after game after game, tried all of the different characters, tried all of the different weapons and classes, and I just found myself getting a little bit bored, to be honest, later on, and I really lost interest in it. So yes, the content was good, but the actual concept of it for me is a little bit too small. It needs to be much bigger, much broader in scope to make it more worth the $60. So yeah, I enjoyed it, but in terms of long-term prospects, I cannot see myself pre-ordering or buying this game when it does come out at full retail price in October. So that's my opinion on the new Battlefield Hardline beta. What did you think of it? Have you played this game? Did you enjoy the beta, and will you be pre-ordering it in October? Let me know in the comment section below. Share your ideas with everybody, and if you enjoyed this video and you found it interesting, please show your support by hitting that like button. Please go ahead and check out any other videos on my channel, and if you like what you see, please go ahead and slap that subscribe button. Alright, have a great day guys and girls, and I will catch you next time.